Um, Hi guys. I know none of you know who I am, but after some serious thought, I felt compelled to say some words of my own, and on what I'm about to explain. So, about a day ago, recently, I found it's been about a week since the passing of Justin Carmical, also known as JewWario. Being a fan, I didn't think it was possible at first, and then sure enough, I started looking around for myself and found out that it was true. Now, normally when you've heard that a celebrity passes, you either have one of two reactions. You can't believe it and you burst out in tears and you realize that they were your idol and they meant so much to you. And the second, well, you don't know them as well as others have, and sure, it saddens you that they're gone. But and you carry on. You're a little disappointed, and you can try and move on and say that's how things are, and that's the way it's gonna be. That was until today. I felt that way when I started reading all the reviewers and seeing the tribute videos for myself. It's hard to explain being a fan that didn't know him personally. I felt more saddened by his loss than I thought I would. Because the whole scary part of it was that I had just met Justin a couple months ago for my first time at Con Bravo, and was very privileged to have done so. He was a very honest and sweet man. I had the honor of talking to him for a majority of the weekend and learned real quickly he was very gentle and very kind and just an all-around good man to be around. Though I didn't know him personally, like I said, I really wish I had, for as much as a good guy that he was. Even though our conversations were sometimes brief, that whole weekend, every time I approached him, he never had a problem with me coming up to him, having 10, 20, 30-minute conversations about games or just something funny or, something fan-related. He was never hesitant to take a question from me. In fact, I think one of the first nights that I met him, he gave me a hug, and it was a big, giant bear hug, and it was one of the best hugs I'd had in a while. He's a hell of a guy, and he never had a problem with having people come up to him random times of the day. Even if he had somewhere to be, he'd listen before he'd politely tell them that he had to go somewhere else, and people were okay with that, and he was okay with that, and sometimes people even followed him, and he was more than happy to lead them to the panel or whatever it was he was going to, just so they could sit there and have a moment or two longer with him. I remember on the Saturday night, I actually did go to a panel of his. I can't remember off the top of my head exactly what it was at the time, but I remember sitting there watching him and thinking this was one of the best panels I had had all night, by far. It was just funny. He wanted nothing more than everyone in that room to enjoy themselves and laugh and have a good time, like the con was meant to be for. He tried his best to entertain everyone and make everyone have a good time, and they all did. At the end of the show, he had a group of fans at his feet, and he just gave each and every one of them a pat on the shoulder and treated them like they were brothers and sisters. It was fantastic. In fact, I went up that night too and did, hey, I know who you are, and he was like, yeah, I remember you, and it was a good time. You take for granted that, he's there, and you think he's gonna be there for a while, and kind of now it kind of makes me sad that I hadn't gotten a picture with him, or one last hug, or one last conversation. Here I was leaving that weekend thinking, oh yeah, I'll see him next year and it'll be another blast and I'll get to shake his hand again and I'll get to talk with him again about more games he'd played and this and that. And it turned out that now I'll never get that chance again. That was my one and only chance that I would ever get to meet him, to talk to him, see how much of a great person he was. And as a fan, appreciate the work he put out for all of us to enjoy every week. I'm sorry I'm stuttering so much. I said I wouldn't, but it's hard. But yeah, I'm glad at least before he passed that I had that opportunity to talk to him and meet him. Because that was one of my goals. I wanted to see all the reviewers, especially him, and especially Todd, and specific favorites, and he by far was definitely one of the favorites. He was the most funny, the most entertaining, and I really enjoyed him, and now there's just not going to be any more. But we continue to remember him, and at his best, and that's the way it should be. That's how he'd want it. He'd want us to keep enjoying what he gave us and the time that he gave us and the attention that he gave us, because that's what we made him. We made him happy and felt like he had the world supporting him, and he did, by all means. No one could ever deny that. I could not give enough condolences to his family, knowing what they're going through personally. I really hope that they're all holding on to each other and doing well for each other in their loss, as no doubt it hurts them just as much as it hurts us as the fan base, if not more than we could ever understand. I just wish them all the best, and just wanted them to know that Justin meant so much, not just to me, but to everyone who enjoyed his videos and followed him. For a lot of us, he was a big idol in the gaming community, and appreciated more than anything. Just in the geek fandom to be in general. He was fantastic to have around, and I'm glad that I've had the privilege of knowing who he was at the time that he was. So he's in a better place now, and away from any pain that he could ever feel anymore. Whatever pain he was feeling, he hid it well, and I wish he hadn't, because a lot of this could have been avoided. Regardless, before I drone on, I just want their family to know, that he was a sweetheart, and I enjoyed my time with him. I enjoyed every video he made. I enjoyed being a part of his following, and God bless his soul for doing everything that he did for us, right up until his last moment. We loved him, and we still love him. Goodbye, Justin, and we appreciated everything we do, everything you did for us. We love you, and thank you always. Goodbye, sir.